Summersville, West Virginia. There's a rawness to this place, a purity that comes from being tucked away in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains. No pretension, no flash, just real people, real stories, and some of the most breathtaking landscapes you'll find anywhere in America. There's something to be said for that. Summersville has weathered storms, literally and figuratively. The people here, they've been through it all. Wars, floods, economic downturns, and yet they remain stubborn, proud, resilient. The town's history is wrapped up in the wider story of West Virginia itself, a story of struggle, survival, and adaptation. The Civil War in particular left its mark here, a bloody reminder that no place, no matter how small, can escape the chaos of war. And I'm about to tell you that story. Summersville is the kind of place you might find splashed across a glossy travel magazine or someone's Instagram feed. But there's no Michelin stars here, no rooftop bars serving craft cocktails named after obscure bands. But if you're paying attention, you'll notice something real, something raw that goes deeper than the surface. This is a small town nestled in the rugged heart of Appalachia, a place where the mountains feel like they're watching you, where every stone and tree has a story to tell. And the people? They've seen things, they've lived through things, and they've got stories too, if you're willing to listen. Founded in 1824, Summersville is about as Appalachian as it gets. Modest, resilient, and fiercely proud of its history. The town was named after Lewis Summers, a judge who helped establish it. It's not some postcard perfect place with tidy streets and tourist-ready attractions. It's lived in, worn. But that's where the beauty lies. Summersville is a town shaped by the mountains and by the hard work of the people who've called it home for generations. West Virginia is no stranger to hard times, and Summersville has weathered more than its fair share. Back in September of 1861, during the Civil War, this place found itself on the front lines of a bloody conflict. The Battle of Carnifex Ferry took place just outside of town, set on the rim of the Gauley River Canyon. Today, the 156-acre Carnifex Ferry Battlefield State Park stands as a tribute to those violent days. Part of the Civil War Discovery Trail, it links over 300 historical sites in 16 states, each one a reminder of a nation torn apart. The battle was a turning point for the Union, leading to the eventual Confederate withdrawal from Western Virginia. It's a story that's etched into the land here, and you can feel the weight of it when you walk through the park. Now quiet, but still holding the echoes of musket fire and the cries of soldiers who fought and died on this ground. Carnifex Ferry isn't just a piece of Civil War history, though. It's one of the oldest state parks in the United States, a place where history buffs and reenactors come together to relive those days of chaos and bloodshed. There's something surreal about watching a Civil War reenactment on this battlefield. It's more than just an afternoon of theater. It's a reminder of how fragile life is, how easily things can be lost and forgotten if we're not careful. And yet, as with all things in West Virginia, the people here don't dwell on the past. They remember, sure, but they don't let it define them. Life moves forward, as it always does. Summersville's present is just as captivating. The town's biggest draw these days? Water. Summersville Lake, the largest lake in West Virginia, is a man-made wonder created by the Army Corps of Engineers in the 1960s to control the unpredictable floods of the Kanawha Valley. The engineers had planned to name the lake after the nearby town of Gad, but the idea of calling it Gad Dam raised more than a few eyebrows, so they settled on the next closest town, Summersville. Today, the lake spans 28,000 acres of pristine, clear water, surrounded by cliffs, dense forest, and hidden coves. The lake is a lifeline here, drawing families and adventurers alike to its shores. In the summer, this place comes alive. You've got kids jumping off cliffs, kayakers paddling through narrow inlets, fishermen quietly casting their lines, hoping to hook the catch of the day. And in the fall, when the leaves turn gold and crimson, the lake transforms again. It's a place of calm, of reflection, a reminder that even in the wild, there's a certain peace to be found. I've been around the world, seen oceans, rivers, canals, some of the most beautiful water you can imagine. But there's something different about a mountain lake, something ancient and quiet, like it remembers everything that's ever happened here. People say water has memory, and standing on the shores of Summersville Lake, you believe it. This lake remembers floods, remembers the river it used to be, remembers the storms that shaped it. And just like the lake, the town of Summersville remembers too. It's small, only about 3,500 people, but it doesn't feel empty. There's a heartbeat here, steady and strong. The Nicholas County Courthouse and City Hall stand like sentinels, old brick buildings that have seen generations pass through their doors. Life moves slower here, but there's a beauty in that. It's the kind of place where you sit down for a meal and no one's rushing to get you out the door. Speaking of meals, if you want a real slice of Summersville, head to Fat Eddie's. No pretense, just burgers the size of your head and fries so greasy they leave a mark on the paper. But if you want a little more sophistication and are trying to avoid the food coma, you might want to try the Vault on Main. Now, if you're the kind of person who needs an adrenaline rush, Summersville's got that too. Just outside of town is the Gauley River, home of some of the best whitewater rafting in the country. When the dam releases in the fall, the river turns into a raging beast, tossing rafters around like rag dolls. They call it the Beast of the East for a reason. It's intense, chaotic, and utterly addictive. People come from all over the world for this, and once you've ridden those rapids, you'll understand why. But Summersville isn't just about the big thrills. It's about balance. In the evening, when the sun dips low over the mountains and the town settles into a quiet rhythm, you can feel something in the air, a deep connection to the land and the water. The people here live in tune with the seasons, working hard, playing hard, and knowing when to slow down and just be. If you ever find yourself on Route 19, don't make the mistake of driving right past Summersville. Stop. Take a moment. Sit by the lake as the mist rises off the water in the morning, or watch the sunset paint the mountains in shades of orange and purple. Grab a burger at Fat Eddie's. Take a walk through Carnifex Ferry and listen to the history echoing through the trees. You might not know it yet, but this place is exactly what you've been looking for. Summersville, small, quiet, and undeniably real. I'm Josh, and this has been a Mountain Roots production. Thanks for watching.